It was one of the lousiest days in recent Tasmanian history, having enforced the follow-on against South Australia. You saw them pile up 416 in their second innings, then reduce you to 5 for 144. You were caught behind in the second over, going hard at a wide one from Rob Cassell. Sorry, mate. The last thing you must have felt like doing that night was collecting your thoughts for this diary, but you did it just the same, man. The risk of opening old wounds. Could you give us your account of that horrendous day?
Monday the 29th?
The 28th. Yeah.
Sunday the 28th of November, Tasmania 251 and 544, Bailey 77 not out, West South Australia just the 55 and then 416. Excuse the language. Holy shit! How this game can bite you in the arse if you get ahead of yourself. I write this after running home from the ground to clear my head of the despair that engulfed us today. My legs are heavy, my heart too. The early wickets didn't eventuate, and when we finally did get a breakthrough, we were unable to exploit it. We felt like we had down Christian Plum at LBW second ball. He went on to dispatch our undisciplined bowlers ball pass, 90 off 70 balls, to leave us chasing 220 instead of 80 or 90. He played bloody well, but we were poor. What should have been a fairly comfortable chase quickly became a nightmare. I played an absolutely horrendous shot trying to impose myself on the afternoon. A disgracefully undisciplined cover drive to a wide ball that was by no means a half volley. Does this sound like deja vu? Because it bloody well does for me. The moment you realise you've made such a mistake, again, it is a very grave one indeed. You feel like you want to crawl into a dark hole with embarrassment, having let yourself and all of your teammates down. You want to throw shit everywhere in rage and disgust. I'm not an angry man, but this afternoon it felt like I was. I'm angry because I'm not learning, making the same mistakes over and over. I'm putting so much effort into being better, and yet here I am, having let myself down again, writing the same words, having the same thoughts, and making the same promises that I did when I played a similar shot against Victoria only 4 weeks ago. To make matters worse, we slumped to 4 for 15 with another contagious collapse. I do feel personally responsible. When fear engulfs the change room, it is like an epidemic that sweeps through with crippling consequences. Panic is cricket's silent killer. No one mentions it. Everyone wills it to end. It explodes out of complacency. Perhaps such collapses are worse for arising out of a position of strength. A slight moment of doubt from one snowballs into collective disbelief. Every appeal heightens their excitement. Every dismissal furthers our despair. Thankfully, George and James Faulkner counterpunched before James fell late. Another bloody 40 from our top order. Starts like this simply shift the pressure to the next bloke and compound the problem. We still need another 80, but with George still at the crease, my money's on us. The motive for the run home from the ground, 8 hilly kilometres, was part punishment for being so disrespectful to my teammates and part cleansing. I thought about my wreck of a season. With half the season gone, I'm still to get going. And I'm miles shy of the goals that I'd set at the start of the year. I set myself a revised target of batting sessions, 15 in the next 5 games. It's a harrowing thing to have to revise your goal downwards. It is hurting to do so. Today was as low as I have been in years. My wife Virginia was sitting on the steps waiting for me, not caring for my sweatiness. She put her arms around me, squeezed me tightly and simply said, "I love you regardless of how many runs you get, darling. To me, there is so much more to you than being a cricketer. Get in the shower and come have some dinner." Not a mention of the day followed. I felt blessed and put further cursing off until tomorrow.
Round of applause for Virginia, I think. Days when it all pays off. Let's flash forward 3.5 months to March the 18th. New South Wales have piled on 440 in the first dig of the Sheffield Shield final. They then unleashed their white-hot pace prospect killers on you. You've got a busted finger and a sore wrist. You've had 4 hours and end the day on 80, preparatory to a man of the match winning 100. Take us through it, Ed. Your story has a happy ending after all.
Friday the 18th of March, day 2 of the Sheffield Shield final. New South Wales 440, Doherty 3 for 60 and Faulkner 3 for 76. Versus Tasmania, 3 for 160, Cowan 18 miles. I hardly slept an hour last night. I fear it will be the same again tonight. I'm buzzing with excitement and expectation. At play's end, I'm 80 not out, having batted for 4 hours and having come under fire for most of it to aggressive short pitch bowling from the young Tyro Cummins. He has shone like a beacon as a bowler, not only of pace but with the talent to move the ball. Even now, every permutation of tomorrow's events are rushing through my head. Can I get 200? Can I bat until tea, until stumps? What if I get knocked over first ball? From how many behind can we still win? How much time do we have to soak up to absorb the draw? This is endless. It means so much to me. I've completely absorbed myself in our destiny, and I've exhausted myself emotionally because of it. The day was as closely contested as you could have hoped for the final. They stuttered and then accelerated. We lost wickets, then recovered, albeit slowly. At 1 for 7, 440 felt an absolute eternity away. Dual and steady, then played a loose shot. Bailey, too, did the same. My big mate Cozzy, now the competition leading run scorer, was as solid as a rock, curbing his natural instincts of attack and respecting each ball. The more I watch him bat from the other end, the more I'm in awe of his prowess. His relaxed nature makes me feel like a worrying mother. Our mid-pitch conversations can be hilariously short. He often comes down and says, "Your turn," and walks off. It's taken me a while to get used to it, but I'm now loving batting with him. He takes the pressure off you with his ability to manipulate the ball with his incredibly soft hands. Few hit it later. Despite both being left-handed, we're certainly polar opposites as player. Cosgrove, relaxed, all hands and no feet. Cowan, intense, all feet and no hands. As for me, my forward defence was tight. I'm yet to hit a ball through the covers. Maybe I'm finally getting the message. And my mind is willing and determined to contribute. After every innings of substance, you tend to get a text message from the chairman of selectors asking you what your favourite shot was. Usually I reply, "That's straight drive for 3," or something to that effect. My response today was my second forward defence to the young quick. It hit the middle and rolled down the middle of the wicket past him in his follow-through. I could see in his eyes that he didn't think he was going to get me out. I talked it up a bit, but why not? We're still behind, but if Coz and I come back for at least a session tomorrow, we could well blow this game wide open. As I ride, I'm washing my lucky socks that I batted in today. Maybe I'm going a little bonkers. I've never ever been superstitious. I ridicule the weirdos who always put their left bat on first. But this week I've made sure I've had my lucky haircut. The strike rate on these haircuts is phenomenal. 4 cuts of 400s. Eating at my lucky Italian restaurant the night before the game, where I ordered the same thing every time. Had my wife make me a lucky coffee each morning. Of the season, that is. I think it's an excuse not to make my own. I'm generally carrying on like I'm standing over a craps table in Vegas. I have no idea why. Facetiously, I think it's a bit for show, but why the hell am I washing these socks when there are another 10 clean pairs in the locker at my ground?